we are live. And it's Friday, and we know what we say when it's Friday, folks. Thank fuck it's Friday. So I'm just going to share out. So how's everybody's week been?
Quiet for me. I went out last night. I usually go out Thursdays. It's lads' night out.
Oh, that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I ain't been out at the house like before that, and I ain't been out since. So not too bad. It's been quiet other than that.
That sounds pretty cool.
We're thinking of names, Ian, for the club. Can you think of a name for like a men's club type thing? We'll come up with a few, but there were pants.
What did you come up with?
Just boys' club and crap stuff.
Why don't you call it the Full Monty?
What? What?
Call it the Full Monty.
Yeah. Terrible.
How was terrible? You say think your name, I think your name, and you are all like, you're terrible.
The Beer and Boys Club, how's that?
Hey Nettie.
I'll put them all in a hat.
I should do that. Hey Nigel.
You could
And
call
hey
it
Sarah Louise. So tonight, guys, we are having a discussion now on Facebook. Recently, I have seen a lot of posts talking about age in the paranormal and what age you should be, and I've seen a lot of posts also with people asking, like, would you take a child? Would you do this? Would you do that? So tonight I thought, why not have this discussion? Because it seems to be the in thing right now with posts on Facebook groups. So I am going to share my opinion. Now, in all honesty, I'm a great believer in don't discourage your children's their feelings. If they're getting into the paranormal or the supernatural, or if they're getting into witchy stuff or whatever, don't discredit that, right? Because we are in 21st century. This is not your 1960s, your 1970s, 1950s or whatever, right? I'm not saying that it's right to take a child out in an investigation. Now, I've let my boy personally run about with my K2 meter, but it was in the middle of a park with hardly anything, and there was a wee small ruin, and he was running about and he was saying, "Mum, I've got ghosts," and obviously the K2 meter hadn't even moved an inch. It was like green, and I'm like, "Oh, that's good, son, you've got ghosts." But I didn't discourage him. I encouraged him because I know Bry's got stronger views compared to me, right? But I would say never on an investigation, a proper investigation. If I was going somewhere like, say, Lennox Castle, definitely hell no. Hell no. And he used to say to me, "But can I come, Mum?" "No, you can't come, son." "Why can I not come?" "Because it's something that I've got to do, right? You can't come." And as he's getting older now he's 15-year-old now, right? He's into all his horrors, he likes his horrors, right? If he had to still ask me, "Mum, can I come with you?" I would still be kind of no at it, because I find obviously kids are vulnerable and they can pick up things, and I would be fair to that aspect, but I'd also a lot of the places that I could be going to could be dangerous. So you know what it's like in the dark, where sometimes if you go into buildings and your flash torch is not exactly that best, and there's like might be a hole in the ground. Obviously, the shortbread stairs when you're going up buildings like Leonard's Castle. Right, I'll use that as prime example. In Leonard's Castle, you've got a bit where you can go in and you can go up so far stairs. Personally, I wouldn't want to take my boy there to even look at, because I'd be feared that he goes up a bit high and something collapses, and that I couldn't live with. So I don't discourage him in that way. I encourage him to look at things on, say, like do his research, like I say, like look at this book or look at that. That is my opinion. Don't ever discourage your child for doing it, because later on in life, if they want to do that and that's the path they want to go, let them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that to some extent. I think what you've got to do, because paranormal is an unregulated hobby, in this country at least, you've got to look at it a lot more subjective. And I've sort of be cruel to be kind. I've sort of approach, and I think, in all honesty, the only time that it's regulated is when it's a paid event and it's for insurance purposes. So other than that, paranormal at the moment is in such chaos and it's all over the place. I think we need to teach kids a little bit of responsibility as much as everything else. So I would not encourage any child if they don't have an ability. We need abilities in this field, because it's just too, oh, I want to do it. I've seen it on telly and I want to do it. It's a stupid attitude to be honest, and I'm being honest, in my opinion. If you've got an ability, encourage it, no matter what it is. Encourage it, but do it in a responsible manner. You take your child along under your wing. You're responsible for that child, like you said. So it's up to you to know how well behaved and how grown up your child is. And if he's capable, she's capable, take them. If they've got abilities, learn them how to carry on and show them how to carry on, to respect people as well as spirit. There's a lot to take in and there's a lot to do for an adult. So bear that in mind when you're thinking about children. That's all I can say.
Definitely. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, my granddaughter has got the senses, and from a very young age, she had to deal with seeing things, etc., etc. And over the years, I've just encouraged her not to be scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's a problem, you feel scared of it, talk to me, and we'll deal with it. And over time, we have dealt with things that she was getting followed home by recently deceased people who were thinking, oh, she's noticed I'm here. So we had a lot of that to deal with. But she has never asked me to go on an. She's just turned 16, but she's never asked me to go on an investigation, and I wouldn't say anything to her unless she came and asked me, "Oh, can I come?" Because I think until she's a bit older and in her head, she's in a place where she thinks, "Okay, I can walk into a haunted place and see how it goes." But until then, I wouldn't ask her to do it. On the other hand, we've got an apprentice who is now 18, but we've had him since he was 16, and he was very much into it. He's got some abilities, and he's been very good, I would have to say, and he's got the complete right ethics. And from the word go, first investigation, he just handled it brilliantly.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the child as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Precisely.
It does. It depends on their maturity levels because
yes,
I've been investigating. I investigated at Dundonald Castle with Steve Daly, and believe it or not, the Scottish Paranormal team, and there was young ones at one point outside. Now they know what we were doing. They're no daft, and they were going, "Oh, ghosties and dead." They were dead loud, and that's the things that you obviously you've got to take into consideration as well. Is this person or this child or teenager really serious about doing this? Because you know they could portray that they are serious. Sorry guys, I'll turn my phone in silent because my phone's going ding 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 with notifications. Um, but if they're actually genuinely serious about it, because they could be portraying that, and then you take them on an investigation, and you could have take them to a location where you've been trying your bloody heart out to get into, and it could just take that one time, maybe them wandering off, climbing up to bits where they shouldn't be going, or even defacing. And I'm not saying this is all children or all teenagers, because you have your good teenagers and you have your bad teenagers, you have your good kids, you have your bad kids. I don't see bad kids as in, oh, they're just bad for being wee arseholes. A small percentage, but then the other ones could have issues, like different types of issues. This is what you've got to bear in mind as well. But as I'm saying, is if you're prepared to take them into a location that you have been working your ass off to get, and then it just takes that one time, them doing something that they shouldn't do, then that ruins it really pretty much for yourself and other paranormal investigators, because that place will just go, well, no, definitely no. I I I want this certain type of agent, or it might be the case of I don't want investigators at all in the building. And I've seen it, I've witnessed the fact that it's happened. I'll quickly go through the comments because I'm building. Hey William, how you doing, lovey? Man United, how do you fancy that, Bri? Hi Rita.
Stick it in art.
Ah, I tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what. Tonight, Bri is looking for a name for his men's club. Put suggestions in the comments, and so that we'll obviously write them down at the end, and Bri can put them in a hat or whatever, and pick one out. So definitely. So there's the first one, Bri. Man United for Sarah Louise. Hi, Ellen. Oh, sorry, Rita. I hope Eric is feeling better. Kelly, hello. I've not seen you for a while. Hope you're well. Hey, Nicola. She loves your new name, by the way. I'll explain that one in a bit. Kelly says, don't take kids that are going through the change, as that's what they can attach to them much easier. I've heard. Experience the paranormal. Welcome to the show. Totally agree. My daughter was experiencing things at home, and I was already going to investigations. My daughter must have been around 13, but the team were happy to have her as long as they knew her, and then that she was sensible. She blew us away with her ability, even experienced remote viewing. It's literally just happened. She felt someone hold her hand. Sadly, she saw and experienced too much and has totally shut down. That is a shame. I'm so sorry that's happened to her. Annette says, agree, deal with the start of it, building understanding and confidence, and then introducing them into investigation, depending on the level of maturity. Hi, Bobby. Bobby's got very hot today in sunny Florida, 40 degrees. Kelly says, same as adults say, can be much worse sometimes. I totally agree. Brugger says, I take my 10-year-old daughter out sometimes. Her first time out, she was 8, but she's extremely enjoyed it. Over the past 2 years, I can see her confidence building, and she's very open now and understands more. And most importantly, she respects each location and understands how to conduct her investigation in the right manner. That's because she's got a good father and a good investigator. That's why. William says, opinionated comment. Personally, I would advise against kids getting involved with anything scary like the paranormal. I know some people do. There are even ghosty books published for the very young. I think being a responsible adult, one must think carefully before allowing the younger generation into this area, particularly with a sort of mind, much your mind. Their mind is just developing. The kids of the coin. Oh, William, could you do me a favour, please, and send me that comment personally on Willow so I can read it, because it's cut half your comment, so I don't know what you're saying. So I'll read that out when William does that for me. Hey, Riga. He says, wouldn't advise. Kelly's been awake since 2 a.m. That's not good. Guys, no dolls. Guys, no dolls. There's a name for you.
Well, yeah, we hope there's no dolls, especially not haunted ones.
And Eric is there. Hey, Eric, it's just because he's not in the chat. Oh, there's that cheeky bitch, Rena. Hi, Rena. Agree, Kelly says. And Jennifer, my Irish demon, says hello. Hope everyone's well. Hello, love. Thank you, Lois. Rigger says it's very true. I've got high respect for you, Rigger. Very high respect for you. And I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass or anything. I generally do have a lot of respect for you. So Kelly's got a name, Boys to Men's Club.
I'll have a bath at that, even though I'm a bit far from a boy, but
but yeah, so going back into it, I definitely think, honestly, I think, as a lot of people have pointed out, you've got your advantages there and you've got your disadvantages there. I would also, here's another one, Brian, the Dream Team.
You see, I've got me fans.
See, there's another name.
How about the Bitter Boys?
You're killing me here. I said the full money. Kelly says, been up, sorry, Nicola, darling. Been up since 4:30 a.m., done 12-hour shift. Sexy boys. What about sexy boys? Nicola says, Hot Men's Club.
What
That's that.
What about Booby Boys?
Aye, well, Bri likes the boobies.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
In fact, guys, while I'm here, I don't know why that's reminded me. I am going to post a link in the chat for my good friend at Ghost Way Paranormal. He has just started his very own YouTube channel. So what I'll do, guys, is I will post the link in, and if you could go and check it out and give him a wee follow, that would be brilliant. I'm just going to get the link just now. So going back to the subject in hand. So what advice would you give, guys, if your children came to you and said, I want to do investigating? Like, what's the best advice that you guys would offer?
Well, my daughter's 36, so I wouldn't have to give her any.
I still would.
Listen, Apple, I'm talking about.
Yeah, if they ain't had any experience of it, you've just got to test them first. Bit like you did, Lewis. Even something as simple as taking them in basement, in cellar, and seeing how they react. If they shit themselves in my own cellar, then they ain't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Well, that's very true. Well, by the way, I loved oh shit, I hate my sound and my voice. I like, by the way, the title of the Nettie's show of when you're outside Lois's basement. that was a pretty good one. I was laughing at that. So, guys, I've just put the title, the YouTube channel for Craig Stevens, Ghost Bay Paranormal YouTube channel. It will be good, and I highly recommend it, guys. So, saying hi, education, definitely, Kelly. And know what I would personally say to them as well? Don't watch ghost shows. Don't watch like your most haunted, your ghost adventures and all that bullshit. If you wanna see, proper investigations, I can show you, people that I trust to watch and people that I know that do it right. So definitely education. As Rigger points out, safety is a must without a shadow of doubt. Again, there's a lot of buildings that I've been to that, like, I don't know, Rigger, we did Lennox Castle together. I've done that many investigations, I can't keep up with who's where and what. But as Rigger will probably know about Lennox Castle, there's a lot of death traps basically in Lennox Castle without a doubt. That cheeky Kelly says, don't go to Lowe's cellar. So do I, Lois, laughing. You have a lovely voice, Lois. Oh my God, I hate my voice, Sarah Louise. I never watch any of my lives back. See if MD says that, oh, this happened or this was said. I hate going back to watch because my voice just goes through me.
Yeah,
hate my voice.
And don't forget to pay her, Lois. All right.
Yeah.
Shut up, dickhead. So, definitely, it's about, obviously, no showing them ghost shows like that because too many people get the illusion that's how things work in the paranormal, and that's how things are done, and that's not how things are done, and that's not how things are,
No, but
are supposed to be.
I would actually show them a horror film. And again, see how they react. If they're shit scared of it, they're not going. Simple as that. They are not going.
I never actually thought of that, Brian. I never thought the old Tough Love show them something like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something.
Then watch it. Just leave the room as well.
Well, right, he's got a demon as a mother, so he can't be that scared of things.
Put protection. Hi, Noreen. Rigger says, watch Scotland's Paranormal Investigation Group. Rigger, my darling, that's the first people I would tell them to come and see. Jenny says, I was in a location in my hometown a few years ago doing Halloween decorations. I had my 16-year-old daughter with me. As we were about to leave, she and I heard a female. I was delighted she got to hear that, but I would not take her on an investigation with me. Playmen's Club, there's another one that you've to write down, Bri.
Right.
Playmen's Club.
Well, how about the Hefners?
I can't even think now. Rigger says, I hate seeing myself on camera because it looks like it's a 3D cause of my burger biffs. Nothing wrong with you, Rigger. Rita says, Lois, be nice to Ian. I'm always nice to Ian. He's never nice to me, I'll tell you.
You keep trying to tell yourself that.
He says, make them sit through hours of true investigations and show them what it's actually like.
Well, yeah,
Kelly,
you can be in a dark room for about 5 hours and nothing happens.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Dark basement.
Everything happens in that basement, I'll tell you. Kelly says, just looked in the mirror, that would be enough to stop me going. But
yeah, the investigations I've had with private cases and mirrors, yeah, that's.
Ian, here's a question. In fact, a question for you both, right? Because you have done private investigations, you both of you, right? What do you think about taking them on private investigations?
No, again, they've got to be seasoned for that. Definitely. They've got to have done quite a few things before they even get to look like that.
Yeah. I mean, we took our apprentice when he was 16, and only because he was as level-headed as he was. If he hadn't have been, we wouldn't have done. But we were watching him the whole time, and he was fine. So we take them to like a first off investigation. Generally, not a lot happens. You might get a bit, but he was fine. So we just watched him constantly, and he's been fine all the way through. So
the problem I have is that it's a well-known fact that children are more sensitive to spirit than adults.
Yeah,
we tend to lose it. As we lose his innocence, we lose his abilities, and it becomes a struggle. You've got to retrain basically as you get older. So as a child, it can be quite overwhelming for them to see and hear as much as they do. A bit like Whoopi in Ghost. It's like bombarded, you know what I mean? So that's only the reason I would say no, unless they're seasoned in it. If they've got past that stage, then yes. And again, it's all about assessment. It's all about how good are they? Have they got ability? If they haven't, and I wouldn't take them. I just wouldn't. I'd encourage them to sit at home and watch films, basically. If they're interested in paranormal. There's no point taking them because they're just not going to act appropriately if they've got no ability.
Yeah, I mean it's quite funny. Our apprentice he's in that. He's still in that excitable phase, so it's quite funny when things happen.
Like, and I bet you really takes you back to your, and it would probably be the same for me. Take me back to my days when I first started investigating at the honeymoon stage, where, like, if you heard, obviously, I've had many good results through the Panasonic. So, hearing my very first answer, it was like, oh my God, it was like, please do it again. You know, it's that excitement. And then, see, well, when I compare myself to you guys, you have been in the paranormal for a lot longer than I have, right? Where you're probably at that stage, and I feel like I'm at that stage, and I've only been doing it not really that long, but I don't have the same va-va-voom anymore.
Yeah,
like
everything. When things happen, you don't react like you used to.
No.
I mean, I still stay pretty calm in most situations. But every now and again, something will surprise me. I'll never jump. I never get scared. It's just every now and again, something will happen and it will surprise me.
Yeah.
And it's nice actually, because when you're not expecting something like that, that's quite good.
Oh, we've got a birthday today. It's John Ross's birthday. Happy birthday. 35.
Happy birthday.
I'm leaving 35 in a few months. I've not got the voice for singing tonight. Dickhead. Lynn says the lion's share. There's another name for you. Jenny says my daughter is now 20. She has special needs, so I think it would be too much for her. Plus, it's Mammy's night away. That's another good reason why not to take kids, because that is your night away. Rigger says abandoned locations are fine, but wouldn't take my daughter to a private investigation because we aim to be as professional as possible and share our honest opinion with the owner. I think if you were to take a kid to a private, then it doesn't look good because a lot of people don't agree on it. And Sarah Louise is wishing John a happy birthday. But yeah, I don't have that same va room, as I call it. I think really, I think when I've had that va room was Lennox Castle, and I have not been to Lennox Castle for quite a while now. That was my va room. But I can understand how kids get excited and teenagers get excited when they see stuff or they might hear stuff and they're like, oh, it's spirit, But it's about, just directing them really. Rigger says, I'm not saying having your child out doesn't look professional, but it's a different ball game doing a private because the owners are putting their trust in you. No, I totally agree with you, Rigger. I absolutely 1000% agree with you. I mean, taking your children definitely to somewhere like an abandoned place, or even taking them to maybe, like growing up, right? My gran and papa took me, well, my gran, it would be mainly, took me to this castle that was in Straven, and I used to run about it when I was a child, and I used to kid when I was looking for treasure, and my uncle used to kid on to me because there used to be a bit where there was a bit of like a sort of dungeon type thing. Yeah, that's where you get your gold and blah blah blah, and I would be like trying to search for this gold all around. And this one particular time, now I could always have sworn that there was somebody there because it was like I ran round the corner and there was somebody there. I could see. To this day, I can't really give you a description because it happened that fast. And I went round to tell my gran, oh, there's somebody there. And when we went back round, there was no one there. So my gran wasn't even that far. So that person would have needed to sprint really, really fast. And it's things like that in my young imagination that made me think, how did that happen? Like, even as I told the story about when I was 4, and I woke up and there was a man at the bottom of my bed covered in blood pointing a shotgun at me, and he was a farmer. It's like the light went on, he disappeared. Where did he go? I know I seen him. Like, to give a quite in depth.
Lois.
It's probably somebody I pissed off in a past life.
Yeah. Well, it was my time machine. In about 20 years' time, I'll go backwards.
Oh, so you thought, I'll come and hunt that Lois. I'm going to meet her later in life. I'm going to terrorise her, like, shout at her. Lynn says, happy birthday. Rigger says, my daughter can't wait till my time's up so she can take charge of the team. I swear she's ready planning my death. Oh my God, that's made me laugh.
You'll be her first investigation, Rigger.
Oh, she will be. She'll be running about with the Panasonic. Kelly says, have you started using camera front and back, meaning so much gets missed because it's always behind you? Easy to do GoPros facing behind you and one facing forward.
I always have fixed GoPros around the property anyway, so...
He's laughing, Rigger. Guys, check Rigger's team out. Rigger, if you put the link in, Rigger, or I can put the link in, whatever. But check out, please, guys, Rigger's team because they're really, really good. And the good thing about Rigger, which I've always sang his praises for, is when he does investigations, he does lives, like he does sort of podcasting type, where he'll sit and he'll go through the investigation on like a live, and he'll let everybody hear EVPs. He'll he'll talk about what he's seen, what's happened. It's always great, guys. Definitely worth checking out. 2 minutes, guys. Sorry, you can talk among yourselves. I'm getting distracted.
Oh, it's a shadow figure. Look, you can see it on the wall.
What is that shadow before her eyes? The funny shape, isn't it?
The shadow people. It's my bloody man, you cheeky beggars.
Yes, we know it's your man. So yeah, like I said, my opinion really is it's simply, how can you teach somebody if you've got no ability yourself? And this is why I suppose I'm being a bit strict on what I say, because it's unregulated. It's a hobby basis, and there's nobody sort of to teach the adults. And I think a lot of adults need teaching, never mind children.
Yeah.
So it's who's teaching who, you know?
Yeah, very true. But it's like with our apprentice, it's nice to be able to instill the right way of doing things into the younger generation.
Precisely, and that's exactly what I'm saying. But you're professional. You know what you're doing. You've been in the field for a long, long time. But there's a lot that haven't. They've learned their paranormal through shows, through watching the dreaded, well, I'm not saying it, Ian, but you know who I mean. So that's their idea of paranormal investigating, is what they've seen on TV themselves. You cannot, surely to God, you can't say that they're okay to take the kids with them, because that's not learning, is it? That's just
no. No, there's no. You can't teach children to deal with the paranormal by throwing them in the deep end. It's not the way to do it. Unlike the fact that we probably went in at I certainly did, ended up in the deep end when I moved into a haunted house age 5. But it's a whole different ball game.
Well, and I was constantly discouraged, as I say. I mean, my first experience, I was talking to a spirit, little old fella, on a bench. Turned to look at another one, turned back, there were nobody there. I crapped myself. So I ran home, told my mother. She said, "Shut up, you barn pot." That's the experience I had. So
do you know? I used to think it was the Scottish people that said "bampot" until you told me. Kelly, there's a link for Rigger's page, guys. There's a link for MD that wants to join Rigger's group. Definitely worth checking out, guys. I'll quickly go through the comments. Hey, Holly! Kelly says, no, you need to wear them. Rigger says, don't know how to do that, Lal, thank you. That's all right, honey, I've just did it for you. Rigger's laughing. Exactly, Bri. William says, I just seen a shadowy figure on BGT. It's time to kill. Nettie says, yeah, it's like the crazies teaching their tricks. Kelly says, thank you, Lo, not problem. And Rigger says, thank you, Lois, appreciate it. It's absolutely no problem. If I can promote you guys, then I will. But no, as Bryce says, a lot of people, they get discredited, like children's wise. I mean, when I was younger and I was growing up, I couldn't talk to mum and dad about this. I couldn't even talk to him at school. I was like worried, oh yeah, you're a weirdo,
there were no programs, there were no nothing. So you had to learn yourself, and you had to trust your instinct. But because of that, I think that we're the best teachers for that. Yeah. Because we've got an empathy for it. So, yeah, if you've got an ability, fine. And I would say that even if amateurs out there, and I'm not saying amateurs in a bad way, I'm just saying amateurs out there, want the children to follow suit, find somebody that's well knowledgeable to help. to introduce them in a decent way, because you can't call yourself an expert if you've got no abilities. How can you teach your kids that possibly have?
That's the thing that drives me nuts the most, is that word in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Is I can't even. Sorry, Noreen, I'm just trying to get the name for you, my darling. Is it expert or professional? No one is.
I'm just wondering who the shadow is on Lois's ceiling.
Interesting.
It's my lampshade.
Are you sure? Because it's moving.
Well, then
It's got
then
red.
I've got another viewer. Cheeky bass. Sorry, Noreen. I'm just doing this now for you. In fact, Rigger did put it in the comments. I'm going to copy and paste if I can see it. But definitely, I've lost what I was saying.
You don't like the word, what you were saying.
Well, I don't like the word. There you go. Noreen, I found it for you, darling. Definitely. I don't like the word. I really don't like the word. I don't even like when it's great they've worked us way up to the telly, right? That is great, right? And I've got respect for some of the people that are on the TV. This is not a dig at them. This is just my opinion. But you really shouldn't class yourself as an expert in this field. Because if we really look at it in hindsight, and please don't think, guys, that I'm turning, right, I can turn that down now, because Noreen's got it. I just don't believe in, because obviously people would say this is a hobby. It's no, I know what I'm trying to say, it's no, as what Bryce said earlier on, it's no recognised, if that makes sense. It's no...
A recognised profession.
Aye, exactly. It's no. And so I hate when people start becoming big-headed and start saying, I'm an expert or I'm a professional in this field, and it's like, really?
You'll find a lot of it, though. It's the production companies, not the people. I mean, there's so many people get labelled as experts when it's not them saying it. It's the production companies, because it makes their program look better.
Evening, Nick.
Hey guys, sorry I'm running late.
What fucking time do you call this at 9:15? I'm only kidding, my boy.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, Wayne. Wayne's in the chat. I didn't even know Wayne was here.
Yeah.
Hi, Wayne. I must have missed him. But sorry, Brian, what were you saying?
I'm just saying that, no, you can't say expert. You can't say anything like professional. But what you can say is experienced.
Yeah. There are experts in the field, but they're experts in certain categories.
Yeah. Kelly says, what's your interpretation of experience so many fake people in this field?
Well, I'd say you have to have many years of not being fake.
What about you? Right, Nick, since you've just come in, I mean, 45 minutes, you're taking the piss now.
Keep in mind, I'm so tired from last night. I did 3 shows. I had to do so many calls in between, more than you can imagine.
Oh, I'm only pulling your pisser.
Yeah, I know.
Nick, come on, Nick. You think you'd be able to get back from those woods a lot quicker? Yeah. You're supposed to get faster at it, not slower.
So, Nick, what's your interpretation of experience when people say they're professional?
See, I definitely do agree with a lot of what everyone else says. Is like there's no such thing as a paranormal expert, as they call it. I just don't see that. And unfortunately, there have been times I've been called an expert, though I never asked for that title, nor do I ever encourage it. But as far as experienced, I definitely think that's a much more reasonable term to use for anyone in the paranormal field.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, it tends to be the people that's not very good that calls themselves experts.
That's
Yeah,
it.
That's
I'll
called
tell
irony.
I'll tell you. I'll say
Kelly says hello, Nick. All right, sorry, I'll wait till you go, love.
I'll say one thing is that if anyone's in a paranormal expert, I mean a true paranormal expert, those are just simply people who are truly an expert who don't know what they're talking about. Then,
Well,
a professional bullshitter. Hey, Kate, how you doing there? There he is, Mr. Piccolorius. Hey, Jenny says hi. Nick says, because I'm looking at
Right
Nick,
here.
Noreen, many years of proper investigation without drama. Oh my God. Do you know what? I'll come back to Noreen's comment. Andy says, I think experience would be more appropriate over professional. William says, a majority of people this game call themselves experts. If they'd seen things I've seen, they'd run a country mile in the other direction. Zach Baggins thinks he is.
Yeah, he thinks he is.
That's it.
That is so true.
Yeah, don't
Jerry
talk
says,
about him.
oh, I think of a team here in Ireland, and finally someone's called them out for their absolute shit of pictures, and if you disagree, they will block you. I think TV went to their heads.
Yep.
Kelly says, same as all the so-called people that charge to read you, they're all my thoughts are fake. I've never been read by MD, and they try to blame me. I challenge MD to read me. And then it says, and there's a lot of bullshitters about you better believe it, right? So I was going to go back to Noreen's, right? Here's another thing this is another reason why I don't want to see kids or teens in the paranormal, right? I'm going to tell you a story, but I'm not going to name names. I was on a show, and
I'm just going to say real quick, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Right. I was on a show. I'm not going to say much about it, but I was on a show and I was under the illusion it was going to be teenagers, and it turned out to be kids. And basically, this person brought on their kids, which my jaw nearly dropped. And I don't care. This person can justify this if they want, but this will be absolute horseshit, and that's the way I'm going to say it, horseshit. But they were basically pressuring their child into speaking when the child didn't want to speak, which I lost my shit at. I wasn't very professional that night as a podcaster, because I just thought, leave them alone. They don't want to speak. They're shy. Leave them alone. And the one just kept pestering. And I just thought, that's absolute bull. And this is another reason why I would not bring kids or teens into the paranormal. And it's exactly why what Noreen's pointed out, drama. Drama is the biggest thing in the paranormal, and this is exactly why I wouldn't bring them, because their mental health they're so sensitive. I don't care what kids, you know what MD says, kids and teens can be very, very sensitive. I know through experience of my own, he's very sensitive. Now, you're going to bring them into this chaos, this carnage, this hate, this, And it is, and there's a lot of charlatans out there. My voice is beginning to break, guys. Sorry, I do apologise.
Squeeze and pull.
But I know it's like, ha ha.
Prayers do get answered.
if I could just
Shut up, cheeky bees.
if I could say one
yes.
thing, I'm kind of comparing it actually. Like I totally get what you mean by that too, Lois. Obviously, I think all of you guys know, and I know it's still running to this day. I've said it several times of how, obviously it's a little bit different with me that I brought, kids into the paranormal field myself, because obviously I was one of them, back, because obviously you guys know all too well that I started, I started this paranormal club back in my high school years.
I'm still here, guys, just in case you're wondering where I am.
But the difference, obviously, for my case, and this is probably what's still going on with this club today, is that there's a big difference to the story that you told, Lois, and the difference with what I was doing, because you look at the club, I was inviting people, like, in case anybody was interested, in this, regardless of their age. What you had told, Lois, was, and this is the sad reality, is that this person basically was more forcing her kids to be in it compared to what I've done with kids.
Oh God, aye, without a doubt, shouted out, and I believe we were set up that night. I believe that person probably told a fib and said that they were older than what they were.
See, this is just basically my personal opinion, because obviously there's always going to be a new generation of paranormal investigators, after us. There's nothing wrong with teaching kids this kind of stuff. It's just as long as you push them into it or force them where they don't feel comfortable for it. I mean, I'll even give an example. Say, for example, because you've already met her on camera, my niece, when she grows up a few years. If she...
I absolutely love her.
She's actually upstairs right now with my dad. She's
bless her.
She's sleeping. But what I was going to get to was, say after a couple of years, she grows up, she learns how to walk and talk, and she finds out what I do, and she's fascinated by it and wants to know more, provided that she doesn't get scared of this stuff. She wants to be just like me and wants to be an investigator. I think most of us could certainly say there's no problem with that. But if you force them into a point where they don't want to do it, that's a completely different story then.
Oh God, aye, without a shadow of doubt. And you never, kids, some kids don't even want to be on camera. They don't even like the camera. No. They just don't, they don't like it. So if their kids don't like it, don't ever put them under the pressure of, oh, you're going on the night and you are going to talk. Yeah. And it's sort of like, how dare you? What gives you the goddamn right to do that to your own kids?
Well, and even someone with my niece, I mean, even though I brought her on, just didn't
that made my night.
Yeah, I mean, that was different. Obviously, I was just introducing her to her first show. But after a few years, after she grows up, as far as I'm concerned, I know I'm not the one to make the true decisions, because my sister and brother-in-law are. But still, I would never ever make the decision of forcing her to be on camera or anything like that. Never.
Question. How amazing would it be, right, if, say, obviously you guys have got grown-up kids, have you got any grandchildren at all? Ian, have you got any grandchildren?
Yes.
The very, very small.
I have two.
You have two, right. What about you, Bri?
Yes, one. I lost one, but I've got one. But
I'm so sorry, Bri. Sorry.
Yeah, 26 days.
My point being, right, is how great would it be if they took over Friday Frightners?
Oh my God.
That would be that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I would be proud as punch for that, man.
Well, my granddaughter would be a nice version of you, Lois, because she's a redhead. She's a lot nicer than you, unfortunately.
Yeah, my son does airbexing, so he'd be a good candidate.
See, we're all going to get replaced. Rigger's getting replaced by his daughter, and we're going to get replaced by our family. It's great fun. William says, sounds like H. Lowell. Holly says, I found that hilarious because he buys his own bullshit. That doesn't surprise me.
Yep.
Jenny says, I know who you're talking about. I think they were using the kids. Yeah, Jenny. Why do you do it, Lo? Why did you just walk away? Why did you do it, Lo? Because I'll tell you why I done it. I done it to keep an eye on things. Believe me, there was times where I'm surprised I didn't drop a few F-bombs. I was very polite back in the day, believe it or not, at the beginning. But when just went, cheeky bastard. I'll tell you what, I'll let you watch a show with me on it and you tell me how many F-bombs I've dropped. None, you'll find. Zero, zilch, none.
Yeah, but we
Do
can't
you know?
we can't hear him because of the bleeps.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Varro, that you don't know. But
Yeah, well,
the first time I ever dropped an F-bomb, I think it was Viv's show, and the viewers nearly died because I had said fuck on live because they never heard me saying fuck in live. Now I've got my own shows and it's like fuck this, fuck that, fuck everyone, fuck the full fucking lot.
Yeah.
It's almost like that, you know.
She's Scottish. She's gonna say it.
Jenny says, I watched one video of known woman and her young child was made to do extra method. That child had too much, she started crying. I had words there. It depends on the setting, Noreen says. Kelly says, so many people leave the paranormal because of cat fighting between the groups. It's so wrong. It's obviously too hard to act like adults and be honest. I like how you like honest in big capital letters. Simple, but it's not in the field. Nori says, and the people involved. Kelly says, family fun. Nettie's laughing. And William says, to be honest, I'd rather they watched a Scooby-Doo cartoon than anything in reality. Funny enough, Nickelodeon, how did it go with your Scooby-Doo podcast the other night?
Well, it wasn't mine; it was Don's, but it actually went really well. We had a lot of a good number of show hosts that joined on Tuesday night. In addition to myself and Don, we had Jeremy, we had Kate, we had Joe. For the first time, we had Chris Binder. That was his first time coming on the show, and who was the last one? Oh, Nikki from Australia. She was on it. So we had a really good conversation. Although actually Jenny was watching that. I even offered if she wanted to come on, but she was. I know Jenny was really exhausted that night. But anyways, we had a really good conversation about it. Although at one point, because since we were talking about a film that came out in the late 90s, we also started getting nostalgic and started to talk about a lot of other things that came out in that era throughout the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So it was a fun show. And we had a good talk about Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
I can remember Scooby-Doo. Julianne, welcome back. Hi, oh boy, ain't that the truth? Jenny says, what about gifted children or children that had a real interest in their own accord? What age would you allow them? To answer your question, gifted children or children, again, I wouldn't personally discard them. I wouldn't discard what they're saying or things like that. I definitely wouldn't.
Like I said with my granddaughter, she's got the senses, but I've let her, I've trained her how to try and deal with it. And when she decides she wants to go on an investigation, she'll come and ask me. I don't even mention it going on with her. So.
Joe has also said something like that too, because obviously since he's a grandfather himself, he's got a granddaughter of his who's only about 11 or 12. I think she's about 11 or 12 years old now. And she actually does want to go on investigations. She wants to, in fact, she's even wanted to go on investigations with us because now that we, with Joe, since he runs things of Wisconsin, I run things of Illinois, she's interested in wanting, she basically wants to investigate and work with us. Now, Joe had told Jeremy about this. There's kind of a yes and no for her situation. If it's a public investigation, like in public investigation location, and depending if she's allowed to, yeah, if she really wants to be part of it, yeah, it's no problem with us. If she wants to investigate with us at a public location, that's fine. But when we're at a private location, like a residential case, that one I know it kind of changes. Sometimes in some cases, it's either 18 or over, 21 or over, but there are some cases where sometimes it could be 16 or 17 years or older. So as far as I'm concerned, the public ones, there's really no big age limit. But as far as I'm concerned with the residential cases, I think from what I've heard from a lot of people, you either got to be anywhere between 16 to 18 years old or over to be part of one.
Yeah.
You see, I've got a totally different opinion. I'd literally keep thinking it's an ability, and that person's ability to be able to cope with things like that, like we've mentioned.
See, that is
sort of mature enough, or hasn't got an ability, I'd discourage it. I really would discourage it.
And do you know something? This is why I love our wee group. In fact, I love my wee team. I say my wee team all together because it's nice to sit and have these conversations. And even with you guys tonight as the viewers, it's great to sit and have these conversations and we can have it polite. There's no animosity, there's no you're wrong, and it's just nice to when you can have these open discussions. And I think that's
it.
Exactly, and it's good to have it. It's worth doing more shows like this, definitely. I'm now listening from my bath. Lynn,
Thanks for letting us know that, Lynn.
thanks, Lynn.
Is that so she can make a clean getaway?
That's it. Kelly says, I've got the original Scooby-Doo cell but can't get it insured because no one knows the value. My godfather was the original creators.
Oh wow.
Lori says, some children are more mature, depends on the individual. Andy says, reincarnated children. Now, see, when I seen Andy's comment come up, the thing that came into my head was the twins. When their parent lost their twins, and they went on many years later to have another set of twins. And the twins that were could say about things about the old twins, about things that they liked, things that even they wanted to wear the same clothes as them. Basically, it was like a total reincarnation of the children that had died. So when I seen what Andy had said, that came into my mind there.
Yeah, but that's gifted children, which is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Rigo wrote a novel right here.
He did because it covers Brian Ian's face. I'd rather see Brian's face, but that English twat to that side of me, down it there. There is a sad side of bringing kids along, and those get down. Listen, Wilson, get down off that fence. There is the sad side of bringing kids along, and that's the negative teams that like to cause shit with others and don't have a clue about the paranormal and do it for just the views on different platforms. They just claim everything to be paranormal and don't debunk, and the reality is this will sadly rub off on the kids and they will never fully experience true paranormal. But Rigger, if you take your specs off, because then you have these big capital letters. Hope this comment makes sense, because it doesn't to me when I read it back. Well, I feel like you're shouting. I think I can hear you for Glasgow.
I think so.
Kelly says, I think she's too young. especially since they attach to young ones easy, just what I've heard. Rigger says, now I've properly read it, it kind of makes sense. You always make sense, darling, don't you worry. Kelly says, so lots of protection and lots of education. Noreen said there is no one size fits all. Noreen, something else came into my head there and I want to giggle, but I'm not going to giggle because that'll give away where my mind's going. Nettie says, don't drop your phone, Lynn. God knows what it will catch. Oh, for God's sake, lassies. William says, sensibly, I'd rather see adults be scared half to death, not the young ones. That's true. Kelly says, the two girls, I remember that.
Well,
She remembers it all well. And hey, Chantel. Sorry, Chantel, my boys have dropped, so my voice is gone.
let me say something about what William had said, because I probably have said in the past that there has been a number of kids that, again, I actually have worked with I've actually taken on well, not necessarily myself, but have came out to investigations. There was one of them was a family who was close friends with a team member of the former paranormal group I was a part of, and the entire family was into the paranormal stuff nonetheless. And somehow, I guess because I was really good at what I did, they decided to stick around with me. And their mom basically wanted her kids, these kids, by the way, there were 3 of them. These were kids between the ages of 17 and 15. Excuse me, 7 and 15. So also too, this was probably, the youngest kid they had. That was probably the youngest person I think I ever taught paranormal stuff. And at first I was a little bit concerned about it because I wasn't sure how they were going to react to it. But they were, as we were going through the investigation, with my little group, I saw that they were turning to me, wanting to know all this kind of stuff. And they knew I was the only person. I was the only one who could really tell them about this. Now, this was almost 10 years ago now, back in 2016. So by now, most of these kids have grown up. And I would, again, the way how I did it, I gave them certain educational points of how this stuff works, what you got to expect. Of course, also I told them that it was also a waiting game. And when William said that he'd rather see the adults being scared half to death, not the young ones. Well, when you think about kids too, that they're more sensitive, there's a more likely chance they may see things than adults. One of those kids actually came up, and I was really surprised by his reaction by it. The middle kid, if you will, he was only 10 years old at the time. He came up while we were taking a little break. He came up to me, and he had told me that he claimed that he saw a floating head coming down the stair. We were at a haunted high school. So he said he saw this head floating down the stairs, and just the way how he reacted to it, it's like he wasn't scared or anything like that at all. I mean, he just told me like it was just simply another part of his day. Like it was just something almost like he had grown accustomed to. So I guess I assumed because this family had been on previous investigations that was he just accustomed to it, or did he knew it was going to happen? I'm not sure, but he certainly had, again, a much better reaction in this case for a 10-year-old than most people would if they saw something like that.
Yeah.
Brave kids.
By the way, guys.
They were all brave kids.
By the way, guys, I need to get a bigger basement. Now Mary wants to be part of my basement.
Ugh.
She wants to be in my dungeon too. Jesus Christ.
Wait, which Mary?
Mary Williamson. They're in the UK. They're for the Netherlands. They're in the UK this weekend. US residents needs to get a bigger dungeon.
Hey, I got a bit confused there because you said Mary and then you said Jesus. And I thought, blimey, he's his mother.
Right. Where am I? Mary, bloody Mary. Kelly says, could
Sorry. Go on.
That bloody boy, if it's not me and him fighting near the cop, what was that like last night? Wait till I give you a laugh, guys. So I got the biggest compliment last night, right? Really big compliment. And it goes for both shows. And that's the fact that basically we take our time out and read our comments compared to like influencers and other people. We got a really, really good comment. It really, really touched my heart. It really did. And it really, I must admit, guys, it did make me feel emotional. Anyway, so it was all going so great. And because I didn't have my spectacles on, right, and as you notice, I've not got them on the night. I keep taking them on and off. It's because they're filthy. What did I do? Went to bring up a comment. Instead of bringing up the comment, what did Lois say? Lois deleted the comment. So I got the compliment from the person, and then I deleted the later comment of theirs. And it was kind of like...
I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, hey, so-and-so, you wouldn't have to have had a chance to copy. Like, can you copy and paste that one more time?
They couldn't even remember what they'd said. That was funny. Could only do it if you got permission.
They were possessed at the time, that's why.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
Chantel says...
She was literally like, no.
And I was like, fuck! Chantel says I saw a floating head once, but it turns out it was just a bad batch. Mary Lau. Nori says, I think feed off the energy and people around them. Attitude, if you're hysterical, they'll be. If you're calm and rational, then they'll learn from it. Kids, I mean. Adults too. Julianne says, kids keep a lot to themselves. They don't share everything, especially this kind of stuff. They have trouble protesting it unless they have guidance.
Well,
do you know what?
That was in my case. That's why this kid approached me, because he knew he had guidance from me. You know, otherwise he probably wouldn't have told it to anybody else, or even his own family.
Yeah, it's all personality as well, though. If you've got an outgoing personality, it's fine. If you're an introvert, then yes. Yeah. I wouldn't try to influence an introvert anyway. Let them go at their own pace.
And it's not just that. Here's the thing that I guess we don't really consider is you've got different beliefs, different cultures, different way of things. Like where the paranormal is more open, maybe in the UK, it's not so open in many parts of the States. Like there is one case that comes to my head right now where Nick was telling me that person, I'm not naming names, but that person can't really open up about the paranormal because of where they are, sort of thing. So it just shows you. And then I've heard many countries, like we had Shane last Friday, who told us that, you know, even though he does it in the Netherlands, there's no many people
over there. Yeah.
And yesterday, for the first time ever, we had Criolla watching from Romania, and as far as I know, she's the only paranormal investigator I know of from Romania.
Mm-hmm. So as much
vampire hunters, they got plenty of them over there.
You know what? I'm almost tempted, because I'm still waiting to hear back from her, by the way, Lois. I mean, I'm still hoping. That's one of the things I'm just so tempted to ask about, like, what her views of Vlad the Impaler is, because that's where he was originally from.
Sorry, Kelly. Your comment, because everybody's commented, it's jumped. Kelly, poor Kelly. She asked a question: has anybody ever thought of taking a dog, for example, to investigation, as they're way more sensitive than humans? I'll answer this first. Jacqueline Dixon was in Scotland the very first time I met her, And me, Jacqueline, and Paranormal Footprints went out, and she had her dog Rocky with her, and we were doing our own thing, me and Jacqueline, and we were just sitting down and we were listening, and obviously I was using my equipment and that, and Jacqueline's dog just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, actually was looking in the direction. And when I asked, like, if there was someone there, I got a response. So yeah, I love taking dogs out in investigations, and I even see it in my own house. I love the cats because the cats are prone to seeing things as well. Like obviously, as people know, I lost my granny last year. Like there's sometimes where my cats just will stare into like my hall, and it's like they just won't take their eyes off at all. Like there's something there. So animals are always the best other sense, and I don't care what anybody says, or the best sense to have.
If you look at certain parts of paranormal, witchcraft and one thing and another, they call them familiars. So yes, animals are used in paranormal quite a lot. There's a guy that we've had on the show a couple of times as well, Brian Baker from he takes his dog with him all the time on investigations. Just him and the dog. So
my cat's pretty good at letting me know if I've brought something home with me.
Yeah.
And if he don't like him, he'll walk away from me.
What about you? What about you, Nick? What's your opinion with animals? I mean, you've got animals yourself. You've got cats and dogs.
I definitely think that they're quite useful a lot of times, like when it comes to like actual investigations. I mean, I've always believed the thought they could really actually see and hear things, you know, unlike the way we do it, of course, with the varies almost in a similar way, like that kids might see them when they're very young. Of course, the difference compared to kids and animals is that is for animals, that is most likely something they're going to see throughout their entire lifetime, even as a full grown either dog or cat or whatever animal it could be.
Yeah. Rigger's laughing. Kelly says, if there's a lot of men in your basement, I'm there, keep me a spot. What sort of dungeon do you think I run, Kelly? Then Jenny, Lois, you're too funny. Well, funny looking.
No, I just gotta say one thing for Jenny, because since we're talking about animals, Jenny, is Hope snoring right now? Her dog Hope always snores in the background.
Laurie says that's true. I did. I was about to ask Jenny. So Jenny and Kelly had the same thunder. Noreen says, I've seen a dog in an investigation. Can't remember. Thank you, darling. Who's interested in...
Go, son.
Let's go real quick. Hang on. I just got to check one comment here. Yes, she is.
Yeah,
but yeah, like...
Take a dog on investigations.
I think my dogs are broken. Polly goes on invest. Polly, brilliant. Cats are brilliant unless you are in the house on your own and they start with their staring. Listen, my cats are notorious for it. I would actually tell you that I said this to my partner yesterday, and I know this is going to sound so stupid. Since my grand's died, right, Eris, I would say my youngest, Eris, and she's looking at me just now like, Mum, what the hell are you talking about me for? Eris, this is going to sound really weird. I see aspects of what Eris is doing now, and I kind of think, is my gran there? Like, is that her coming, showing me in form, if that makes sense, through Eris? Because it's some things that Eris does, like when I have my moments where I bubble and Eris will come and she comes right up to it, into my face, and it's though she's trying to wipe my tears away. And then yesterday, sorry, I'm laughing because Eris is looking at me saying, "What the hell are you doing, Mum?" When obviously my sister's in hospital, and I left the house yesterday because my partner was taking me up because I was quite sore and really, really tired. And I went across the road, just across the road there, and suddenly there was Eris up at the window. And do you know she waited and waited until Stephen picked me up. See, as soon as Stephen picked me up, she jumped down off the windowsill, and that made me think. And I said to Stephen, it's just other things that she does that I think, is that my grand's way manifesting and showing me that she's there? Yous will get it more than empty because obviously we're on the paranormal, so it doesn't sound so stupid when I'm saying it to you guys.
No.
It's quite normal.
One thing I just also got to point out too, again, since we're still talking about in this case with animals, this actually reminds me of a story, where it's probably one of the most perfect examples, I think, of how animals could see things that we can't. And what's funny enough, what they sensed was ironically another animal. It was, I can't remember what the story was, like the actual name of whoever the owner was or where it was, but I do know it took place. I know it took place over almost 110 years ago now, early 20th century, 1916, of a owner who had a couple of pets. Like I said, I don't remember where he lived. I just remember the year. But he had a very prized, one of his most favorite pets was a dog that he had. Sadly, that dog passed away. And, even though he had all these other pets, he was devastated by this loss. I think the dog either died of, it was either old age or some kind of illness that was uncurable at that time. He was known to have a rug that he liked sitting in all the time. But really, a few days after he passed away, all the other pets that he had would avoid this rug that this dog used to formerly sit in. And it was like they were literally walking around it as if there was something sitting in the rug itself. And as time went on, and again, it wasn't definitely as common in those days compared to now, when he started noticing the strange behavior with his other animals, he actually began to speculate that maybe the spirit of his dog, his ghost, may have actually came back and was still sitting at the spot that he formerly slept in. But the whole idea is that it appears as if many of these other animals that supposedly saw this or heard this or felt this dog's ghost, they apparently actually could see it. He couldn't, the owner couldn't, but apparently they could. So that's also another good primary example where they're most, pretty useful when it comes to, any type of paranormal activity.
Yeah, I actually think that's got more to do with. Have you heard of the elephant's graveyard? A lot of animals actually do it as well, but elephants have been documented.
No,
and
I haven't.
Elephants go to a certain spot of their own herd to die. And that herd will make a journey every few years to the graveyard to pay the respects. And I think that's more likely to be the truth, even though, we're in paranormal, so we'd like to think that that's the case, Nick, honestly. I've known it as well, but I think it's more to do with respect of a fellow animal in the house. That was their spot, so they respect that.
I'm going to quickly run through these comments because they're building. Oh yeah, I've had that long. Holly says Polly goes on all investigations. Jenny, they're having a conversation. Holly says I'm going to start putting a body cam on her. Jenny said I had to snap my cat out of it as I was getting dressed in my room and she was staring behind me, lol. Nick, yes she is, lol. Nettie says a bit like me, I'm always snoring in the background. I don't know if that's true.
Oh yeah.
Nori says, one of my cats used to hide on top of the wardrobe and wait until I switched the light off and got into bed and then would launch itself onto the bed and wasn't impressed. Humans are part animal, William says. Hey Josh, welcome to the show.
Gosh,
So he's asking how Eric is doing after his surgery. I hope he's well. Noreen says, I have felt someone get into bed and move about. Thought it was my partner, turned over to speak and no one there. I have on other occasions thought that the cat had jumped on the bed and nothing there. Hasn't happened for a very long time, thankfully, as I'm now on my own. My partner passed away. I'm so sorry, Noreen, to hear that, honey. Really so sorry. And Nettie says, it's me, Beastie, trying to get out during sleep. But a day, as I said, that the Eris has basically been joint to my hip, like for the minute. Really, she has always been joint to my hip, but even more so since my gran died. Where I go, Eris has got to go. If I'm in the bathroom, I made the brutal mistake, right, when she was young. You can come into the bathroom. And no, she won't leave me alone. So, no, when obviously I shut the door, my cat, I treat her like my child. I treat both of them like my child. They're spoiled princesses. And that's no joke when I say they're spoiled. So where I go, Eris goes, like, see when I'm doing my lives, you'll either notice Eris coming up behind me. Right now she's right across from me, diagonal, sleeping. But see, as soon as I finish with you guys, money on it, she'll wake up. Honestly, she's like, even when I'm in bed sleeping, Eris, see if I move to get up to maybe turn round or go to the toilet, Eris wakes up. It's though her timer's set with my timer, sort of thing. But I wouldn't swap the both of them for all the tea in China. So I always say, when people say how many kids have you got, I say 3. One human and 2 cats. That's my answer. 3 kids.
I'm trying to control my thoughts here.
What? Oh, wait, I know where this is going. This is, my mind wandered earlier on, Bryce is wandering right now, and it's certainly not in the area of the boobies. Eric, Rita says Eric is fine. Animals definitely sense things. Nettie's laughing, and Josh says that's great to hear. Josh, check out Josh's podcast. Josh, you'll need to put the title in your podcast. I did see it on Monday night, but I forgot.
He's got a podcast of his own.
I'm sure he's got a podcast of his own because it was in his title. In fact, Josh, wait till you hear this. We did a show together. Oh, Lost Through the Rabbit Hole. I should have remembered that because of rabbit holes. So, wait till you hear this, guys. So, obviously, I'm helping the Dark Mirror boys just now. And Monday, I sat in the background, done nothing but share. So the boys did their things. So it came to the end of the show, last 2 minutes, and I went on and spoke for a bit. And then, obviously, we went off. So I said, right, boys, I need to go, see you later. So I left them. So next thing, Wayne comes into my DMs and says, you've been very naughty. I says, what have I done? He says, you have shared to everywhere except the Dark Mirror radio show group. So they were broadcasting and I hadn't even shared to the group. I'm just like, oh my God, that's worse than last night, Nicky, when obviously I forgot about the 30th of May and did the 6th of June subject.
Wow.
Oh,
here's my favourite.
Hey, Craig.
Craig, you're a wee bit late because I've just actually a good while ago said about your YouTube channel, but I'll say it again since you're here. So, guys, this is Craig Stevens from Ghost Way Paranormal. He owns it. He started up a YouTube channel. Guys, I have posted the link. What I'll do is I will share it again just in case. But definitely go and check him out, guys. He is a good guy and he is a dear friend of mine and I just love him to bits. Josh, no, listen, sweetheart, it's totally fine. It was my stupidity. Obviously, I went into autopilot, so don't worry about it. It was actually quite funny. I was having a giggle about it because I'm just getting stupid in my old age.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
Do you know what? I will not even give you a response except spiatali, which means fuck off in Polish. Craig, anytime, sweetheart, anytime. Anytime. Right, so guys, we're coming to the end of the show. Don't say that, you'll make me Mark and Wayne sound ancient.
Yeah.
You don't really want me to answer that one, Josh.
Josh, she's a lot older than she looks. She's at least 500 years old.
Look,
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you, asshole. A 300 in a day.
seems kind of personal. Sounds kind of personal there, Lynn. We didn't need to, you just got out of the bath, though.
No.
So, guys.
Good job she never hit the live link, wasn't it?
I'm like,
well,
oh
how funny would that be?
I was gonna say, can you imagine if the link somehow got sent to her and she opened it up and she was still
so, guys, next week we have Liam Shea. No, Liam Gallagher. Liam Shant from Highland Paranormal coming in.
I was gonna originally say Liam Neeson.
By the way,
I thought she was going to say Shandor when she was saying the
it could be worse. I could have said shit. And then that's for Friday Frightners. Next Thursday, I'm going to put a big question mark on because Nick still needs to hear back. So I'll put a question mark on to the greenback. If we don't get the guest that we want, there will be a subject, but we will tell you next week. But definitely, guys, starting with Nick, we'll work our way around. Nick.
As far as shows go,
put your women down, for God's sake. Get your boobies down.
Jeremy said something in the chat, so I was just reading what Jeremy was saying.
I bet he says that, Nick, stop reading your bloody chat.
No, he actually messaged something in the things chat.
Yeah, I've just seen. I need to check mine, but I'm sure it'll be okay. In fact, actually, it probably will be. But anyway, sorry guys, getting lost in the post. So
you were asking about what's going on with the shows, or?
Well, in the woods shows what you do in your private life. Do you take a rubber ducky to the bath? Whatever.
No, I would ask. Oh no, that's the question I would ask Lynn right now.
Make sure well, I was going to say, make sure it's no electric, because you don't want to get electrocuted.
Yeah, if it's more like a toaster or something. I saw that in a movie once. It's not pretty.
Well, I'm saying nothing. I was now thinking toasters, but never mind. But Nickelodeon, back to the conversation at hand. What have you got planned?
As far as for next few days, I mean, it's going to be pretty quiet this weekend. I know. Well, I think Sunday I might be once again playing Minecraft again with Kate, Don, and Pickle Tom, and then Monday I got golfing again. I always have you guys. I know it's late for you guys. You got to tune into one of those shows that I do when I play golf, and we go crazy over that game. We just have a lot of fun with it. For Fear fans on Tuesday, Don, I know he wants to cover Abigail for his next movie to have on his show, and I already said yesterday, Nick Files is taking a 3-week hiatus, and the only other show I can really think of, because you kind of already did the other two, Lois, is as far as Supernatural talk for next Thursday, it's the same thing too. It's a big question mark. It's probably most likely going to be another, open mic night. We got no guests for next Thursday.
Okay. What about Bri? What's happening on Shadows and Light and the Lights of the Shadows?
I don't know yet. She's not said out. So yeah, just watch the Tinterweb and you'll see what she puts up. We haven't really spoke about it yet. And as far as anything else is concerned, I'm more. It's hospital week next week for me. I'm up there on Thursday, so
I'm thinking of you. Oh, my honey, huge hugs for you. We will be thinking of you. Are you going out over the weekend? Are you going out anywhere to check out?
No, like I've said, I'm struggling, so I've only
got my
one
babe. I'll give you another eye. Ian, what's happening in residential haunting this weekend?
Still wait to hear from the client to a reasonable date we can go round, because they both work different shifts. So, no, it's when they're both off at the same time. So,
rejoice. And Lolo is just up to jack shit at the weekend. Just a quiet weekend. Probably you'll see me back Tuesday on Simply Spooky. Wednesday I'm going to cry because I have no Nick files at 1 o'clock in the morning. And you've just seen me Thursday, Friday, just my usual. Lynn's working at the weekend. I'm feeling for you.
I was going to say, I got to say this. Lynn, I mean, we see you're working this weekend. Does that mean working in the bathtub? with creating electronic rubber duckies. Hey, look who just showed up! Pickle Tom! Lois, you're missing out on who just showed up. I think she muted herself. Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry. I'll go to thing. Pickle Tom, Tom, you're always bloody late. Come on. In fact, wait now. If you can't get set guest,
you get
the man of the hour.
We could talk
Pickle
about
Tom.
Our subject matter undoubtedly would be all about growing pickles and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I gotta say for Tom right now, I was just talking just like a minute or two about golfing, of how we play golfing all the time. We have a hell of a time playing that. And Joe has that famous line, Birdie!
Lynn says, great show, Lal. Lots of bubbles, and that's just me, Lal. Makes your hair curl. Whoa, says Ernie. Thanks very much, Jenny. Says amazing show as always. Great show tonight. You're very welcome, Sarah Louise. Pickle Tom, you better keep your diary free for Pickle Lois next Thursday. Possibly. Nori says naming ghost logo Wednesday. You know more than me, Noreen. Nettie says I'm up yours next week, Bri. Oh.
But you take it in turns, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, steady on. Nick is one's a wish, two's a kiss here, Nick.
I was about to say that was two.
Oh, right, well, you better catch the bloody kisses that I've just sent you. So, Lynn's saying hi, Tom. Happy birthday.
That's
And
the gross thing.
Craig's just paid us a compliment. Do love the passion of you guys. Thank you very much, my darling. I'm very, very touched by that. Thank you, honey. And Noreen says, I'm sure Viv said Wednesday. Maybe she did, and I didn't even realise it. Lynn says, me and Nate are going camping in a couple of weeks. Oh, what happens in camp stays in camp.
Hope we find a makeshift bubble bath.
Is it band camp?
Oh, but guys, please have a good weekend. Please stay safe, whatever you are doing. Get well, Bri. I'm rooting for you. Eric, I hope you're getting better as well. And guys, please stay safe, be kind to each other, and we will see you next week, guys. See you later.